Buckets. Hello and welcome to episode 73 of Two Man Game with Damon and Dom. I'm Damon, that's Dom, and you are the listener. It's been a couple weeks, basketball winding down, but today is the perfect day, Monday, April 14th, to record. The playoffs start tomorrow. The play-in starts tomorrow, I believe. The regular season ended yesterday, so what better day to record than today? It's been a while. Basketball dwindled down. We started having starting lineups of players I've never heard of as the game started to matter less and less. But then the last day of the season, we did have some exciting finishes for seeding purposes and things like that. And at the end of today's episode, we'll go over our playoff predictions, what we think is going to happen, series by series, matchup by matchup, and we'll see who we think is going to win the finals. We're always right, so you'll learn right now. But first, Dom, it's been so long. How are you?
I'm doing good. I will do my best. I'm sure if you're listening, you can tell that my voice is a little shot because I was at Coachella this weekend and I had a great time with a lot of great friends, made some new friends, saw a lot of amazing artists. So I had a great time there. But I did get back at 5 a.m. and started working at 8 a.m. So, um, my voice is just a little fried, but it was a great weekend. I'm super excited for playing basketball. I put all of the matchups in like my calendar, so I make sure I watch them and everything because I'm so stoked. And yeah, Lakers 3 seed, Rockets 2 seed, Western Conference Finals. Let's go, easy.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely it.
Oh yeah, we're gonna
Yeah,
get to
but
that.
oh yeah. Well, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking. It's been a fine couple of weeks, a busy couple of weeks, but a good couple of weeks. We had our staff student basketball game right after our last
Oh
episode,
yeah.
basically. We won. We
hmm
took home the victory, got our revenge on those snot-nosed kids.
That's
Um,
what we do as adults.
this time they didn't have, last year they had 16 players. This time they had nine, and we had eight, and we won. So, you know,
Oh, nice.
that was a little more even, less energy. It was good. I was a defensive anchor of my team. I'd like to think of myself as the Rudy Gobert of our team. I didn't do a lot on offense. I did make some shots. I can't be Rudy Gobert. I like drove to the lane and made a couple layups, which is just not a Rudy Gobert thing. But most of the time, there's a student who is not necessarily, an athlete, but he's 6'5" and he is
Mm,
difficult to prevent from getting the ball for rebounds and putbacks. He scored 17 of their 27 points, but I was guarding him and stopping
that's
him. He just also scored a lot too.
Yeah,
Um,
that's crazy. That's tough.
yeah, but that was fun. That was a lot of fun. So that was good. Work has been fine. We're getting there. I did want to point out though something that I don't know if you didn't notice or you just didn't say anything. But I have changed the wall behind me. There are now some decor items up that were not there before. So let me go let me go left to right here. I've dedicated it to you. Right here is the PJ Washington poster that you gave me for my birthday, Christmas, something
I
recently.
think I think I think birthday, last year birthday, because Christmas I got you the D Wade statue cup.
That's right, that's right. So that was in August. It's now finally on my wall in April, so 8 months later.
Nice.
Right here, I'm pointing it to it on my camera. This is a card you wrote me from Portland. It says something like, Damon, who do you think would win in a fight, me or Udonis Haslem? Much love, Dominique Hesterson.
I don't even remember that. Oh my God.
So
I just
that had to
imagine
go there.
I imagine the postal worker like getting it like what is this
The answer,
postcard?
by the way, it depends on if he has a hammer or not. Yeah, there's some
No,
context needed.
hey, and the answer always has a hammer.
Okay,
So
well, that's deadly, man. I got the exit sign here, of
yeah.
course, from your EP when we found the exit sign walking around downtown Austin when we were in college. So had to throw that up. Got
Yeah.
my signed Ugly Side Up poster from when I saw one of your mini shows here in Austin. Your name or my name is on there. I don't know if your name is on there. Your signature's on there. Um,
Oh yeah,
and
definitely. Yeah.
and then this is just a Lawrence poster because I wanted to hang it next to the other band poster that I have. So
Yeah, tour posters are so sick. Like I love
yeah,
the Lawrence tour poster. I know you've had it for forever. It looks so sick.
yeah, I got it signed by them as well. I also framed them all. They're all framed. So No
See,
more
that's
paper
the way to do it.
posters on the wall. That's why they haven't been hung up
Nice.
in months because they weren't framed, and I finally ordered frames for them all. So the rest of my apartment is not decorated. I just did this wall for today. Um, but
Yeah.
they're
Well,
they all got command strips and they're all ready to be hung up. But I was trying to figure out what to do with those walls specifically. And then back there, that's the signed through the wire poster, which you kind of
okay.
can't tell because it's kind of dark over there. Um,
Okay.
Also
That's what
pretty.
I thought it was the. Yeah. No, it looks great over there, and I did notice, but I wasn't. Huh? Oh, okay. Um, I. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't notice
I
that.
unplugged my
You
headset,
changed the
um,
background.
so
Oh, okay.
I'm back.
I noticed the background, but I thought maybe I was just fried. My brain was fried. So I was like, it looks a little different. But no, I love the back wall. I remember you texted me last week, like you're gonna see some things in my room, like some new things. So I love it. I gotta figure out where to hang up that through the wire poster I got signed as well.
You got a nice
I'll
empty
figure
wall
it out.
right there, right behind you that you could definitely.
I know, but I was talking to a lot of friends who are like d interior designers. They're like, you should have one wall that's empty. So I guess.
That's
Because I have a lot of stuff over here.
I don't
Like
like
you
that
can't
take,
see it,
but
but
sure. I'm
like,
not an
and
interior
I mean,
designer, I
it's
guess.
you know what? This is not an interior design podcast. I only know basketball. I know
That's
nothing
right.
else. No, but I love the posters. They're sick. That PJ Washington poster is so sick. It
Oh
looks
yeah,
great.
lurking right behind me.
Um, yeah, like yeah, literally behind you, like protecting you. It's so
He's
sick.
staring right at me.
But yeah, a lot of basketball has happened. Should we dive into it?
Let's dive in.
Sure.
I just
Yeah,
sent
here, I can take the
I
what's
just
up?
sent you an important text message.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. You want to take the first one while I figure this out?
Yeah, yeah, go. So March Madness, Florida ended up beating U of H 65-63 in the men's championship game. Um, and that was after their major comeback, Houston's major comeback against Duke in the Final Four. They were down eight with like 13 seconds left or something like that. Something kind of wild. And then they came back, beat Duke, and then they were up, I believe, on Florida and just kind of blew the game. Did you watch any? I watched a little bit of Florida Duke. I didn't really. I mean, I'm sorry, Houston Duke. I didn't really watch Houston Florida for the actual national championship.
It's funny. I actually caught a little bit of it because I was on my way to my friend's show in Hollywood, and I stopped at a nearby bar, and I just popped in for a slice of pizza because they had like a really good happy hour deal,
Hmm.
and there was a ton of people there watching it. All Florida. It was like all Florida
Interesting.
people. Gators. I don't know why.
Maybe you were
And I was
accidentally
watching
at a
it, and
Gator bar.
yeah, Gator Bar, and and I don't know why I said that stupid. And I watched like a little bit of it, but Houston had a lead like 3 or 4 points whenever I left. It was like a minute and a half left, maybe 2 minutes. So I was like, okay, maybe the Cougars got in the bag. I don't know. Florida's kind of making a run. We'll see. And then I didn't look till the next morning, and I saw like I know we know a couple of people that went to Houston. I know some people that went to U of H.
Yeah.
So. Um, I didn't see any like celebratory posts. So I was like, okay, we probably lost. So obviously I was going for the Cougs because like they're
Texas.
Houston. Yeah. But yeah, I congrats to the Florida Gators. I mean, I don't know their team or anyone
I
in
don't know
college
anyone.
basketball really.
Not a
Cooper
player, not a
Flag. That's
coach, not nothing. Last,
literally just Cooper Flag. Yeah.
I remember the last Florida team that won was back-to-back champions in like I think it was '06, '07. This team that
Really?
had Al Horford and Joakim Noah and Corey Brewer.
Wait, okay. Let's see who ends up like on. It'll be interesting to see how what teams these players end up on to see if that's like as iconic.
Yeah. I feel like I would know who they are by now. Like I feel like those players were relatively well known and drafted and stuff. I feel like I've heard a lot about any Florida prospects, so I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't really know about Houston either. Yeah. Who knows? I
I
don't know
don't,
anything
yeah,
about college.
yeah.
There's too
Yeah,
many
well,
teams.
when they're in the NBA draft,
There's 1,000 schools. I don't know how am I supposed to know anything.
no, it's impossible to keep up. I watched the first 10 NBA draft and then I kind of remember them and then I forget about them. So, You're better at that than me. You get all those trivia polls and stuff. You're really good at that.
Yeah,
On
the
the
more
other
you,
side,
yeah, go ahead.
oh,
Sorry.
oh, what's up? No, continue.
Nope, I don't remember what I was saying.
Okay, well, on the other side of the instead of March Madness for men, March Madness for women, UConn beat the back-to-back number one seeds. Well, no, they beat back-to-back one seeds in UCLA and South Carolina by a combined 67 points to win another women's March Madness championship. Did they win last year too?
No, I think South Carolina won the 2 years before this, Don Staley's program, and they were a one seed, and they just got absolutely smacked by UConn, um, which
Okay.
was kind of crazy. But I think they've won like 7 or 8 since 2000. Like they've won a
Wow,
lot
that's a lot.
in
Yeah.
the women's side, yeah.
And
And then
also in similar news is well, UConn's Paige Beckers was drafted first overall by the Dallas Wings. So
that
welcome to
happened
Dallas, Paige
today,
Beckers. Yeah, I saw
like
that.
like not very long ago.
Yeah, and I'll take the next one too because
Hmm
it's about a Lithuanian. The expansion team, the Golden State Valkyries, drafted their first ever player in Juste Josaite, sorry, out of Lithuania, fifth overall. Um, so that's very exciting. I guess I'm a Golden State Valkyries fan now, kind of. So
Must
I
be.
have to be. My mom's gonna be like, did you see that? I guess I'm gonna have to go see him play, but that'll be cool. I'm excited too.
Yeah. Um,
Um, yeah.
Moving on from the W, the March Madness, let's talk about some the one important injury. There are a lot of injuries that were reported towards the end of the NBA season. A
hmm
lot of them I didn't put on here because I didn't think they were relevant. By the time we were gonna podcast, or the playoffs actually happened, I think they would be done. So I didn't put them on here. But the one that will matter is Jalen Wells. He had a scary moment, was taken off the court in a stretcher after a really bad fall at a game against the Hornets. Ended up going to the hospital. It was reported that he had a broken right wrist, among some other injuries, and then he ended up being awake. He wasn't awake when he left the court, and alert and moving after not being able to do so for a while. And then he got discharged last Tuesday evening. So I guess he is fine now and recovering, but it was a scary moment to see towards the end of the season.
Yeah, did you watch the clip
No, I
of
don't
of
like
the
watching stuff
injury?
like this.
I didn't mean to. I saw like they had a usually like on NBA will post like a it'll show like a picture of the player like midair saying scary moment for Jalen Wells, and then you swipe to see the video. So I was like, oh, he's fine. I swipe and it's just insane. He just Simpson Jr. or someone like swiped him who's on the
Mhm.
Hornets, kind of like by the legs, and just he landed so hard on the wood, and yeah, he wasn't moving at all. It was like totally silent in the arena. It was very scary. I'm glad that it seems like he's not in the hospital anymore, and he's alert and moving because that's really scary. You don't want to break your back or your spine or anything like that. So. Um, I'm glad to see that, but Grizzlies are going to be missing Jalen Wells. He's had a really great year. Um, but most importantly, except for the playoffs, is he gets well soon. That's very scary. He's so young too.
Hope he gets Jalen Wells. I'll
Oh
stop.
my, okay. Okay. Hey, you know what? You know what? Tell me the next thing too, because this is your boy.
This
This
is
is your
my
boy.
boy. I was really excited about this. Zach Lowe has been signed to The Ringer, who have a string of podcasts on their own channel run by Bill Simmons. Austin Rivers has a podcast through them. They now have Zach Lowe, and he started what's now called the Zach Lowe Show, which I don't like. I guess he probably wasn't allowed to take his name, the Low Post of his other podcast, last name being Lowe. Obviously, it's a great name. I did listen to his new podcast, and he said he actually came up with that name. But I guess because it was an ESPN product, they probably wouldn't have allowed him to use it again, would be my guess. But after
Yeah.
being laid off from them, and not doing podcasting all this year, my favorite basketball podcast, honestly, aside from us, and um, what a year to not be able to do it. The Luca trade, all the crazy stuff going on in the league. I missed out on a lot. So some catching up to do for sure. Just excited that he's back in the podcasting space. Uh, I didn't think about this, but he's a solo podcaster. Like most of the time, he does bring on guests and stuff, and I feel like that's hard to be
Mhm.
entertaining in that format. But I think he's both entertaining and informative, which is very
That's cool. Yeah, I've caught a couple, when it was a low post, I caught a couple episodes and I just don't listen to as much basketball podcasts anymore since we have this podcast. But I do like him because like how you said, he's very impartial. Like he doesn't pick and choose like teams. Like it's not always about the Knicks and the Lakers and Celtics. It's like he'll talk about everyone and he's, not he's an obvious fan of the game, but not just like a diehard like whatever fan. So
Mhm.
um yeah, I Low Post is definitely a better name than the Zach Lowe show, but yeah, it's okay. I'm excited to listen to it. Did you talk about like you listened to his first episode, yeah?
Yeah, he's had 2 or 3 episodes now. He had an episode that released today, but I hadn't had a chance to listen to it yet. But
Gotcha.
the first couple were both pretty good.
Nice. Welcome back, Zach Lowe.
Welcome back. We know you're listening, so
Yeah, we appreciate you. We know that we are your favorite podcast. Anyways, okay, cool. Now
awesome, epic.
that's that. So two-time WNBA MVP Elena Della Dawn has retired from basketball. Did I say her name right?
I think so. I think
I
you killed
think
that.
okay, because I've heard it. Like it sounds like I've heard that name.
Mm-hmm.
But she has retired from basketball. So congratulations on two MVPs and um, we'll see you on the court.
Big, big,
Yeah.
big. Other news: Dyson Daniels signing a 4-year shoe deal with Adidas. I thought this was interesting because he's obviously having a great season. I think I had him as my most improved when we talked about awards last time. I think you
Yeah.
had him up there for DPOI or something like that as well.
Yeah. Hmm.
All defense candidate, obviously, big season with the Hawks, most steals in NBA history in one season. Blah 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 blah. Still a weird player to sign a shoe deal. Because I feel like he's not, like a star. So I just thought that was kind of fascinating to read.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, the other person I can think of that has a shoe deal, I mean, Adidas is huge, but I think like Austin Reeves, he has a shoe deal with like that.
What's
Um,
like the Chinese company, right?
yeah, the random just Chinese shoe company, and I guess I just love them over there, so you got that. Um, but yeah, Adidas is huge. Like they have like James Harden and like Kyrie and all that
Donovan Mitchell,
stuff.
I think.
Right. Donovan
Dame.
Mitchell, right? Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to say
So.
Dame is an Adidas guy.
Probably, yeah. So, congratulations to him. That's crazy.
Anthony Edwards. Did we say Anthony Edwards? That's an Adidas guy.
No, oh yeah, he had the biggest billboard in Times Square when I was there.
It's
It was pretty
crazy.
sick. Other like pretty incredible news. Giannis Antetokounmpo had 35 points, 20 assists, and 17 rebounds against the 76ers on April 3rd. And that's the first time that's ever happened in NBA history. Isn't
Yeah.
that crazy? I feel like Jokic has done that like three times already.
Uh, um, Jokic did have like a 60-point triple double, and then he also had like a 20-20-20 game or 30-20-20 game, but I don't think he quite got to
Yeah,
35, I guess. So, um,
yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's against the poverty Sixers. So I guess it makes sense. Um, Still an accomplishment nonetheless.
No, absolutely. Congrats to him. I mean, he's gonna need it in the playoffs for sure. Gonna need that.
An accomplishment, yeah, no Dame in the playoffs, by the way. An accomplishment of a
Yeah.
different,
what
huh?
is that official? That Dame is in the playoffs? I thought it was
He's
like he
still
might.
out for now, so
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll
Okay.
get updated.
All right.
John Morant managed to accomplish getting fined for 75K for two finger gun motions during their game against the Heat. It was gestured towards their bench. I think was the primary issue. He was giving a warning for the same thing during the game against the Warriors. Him and like Buddy Hield, I think, were both giving warnings for this. So, um, yeah, and then he said, "You know what? I'm gonna double down and do it like the very next game." And then they find him. You know, it,
See,
John Morant, you're not. I'm sorry, it may not be fair. You're just the one player that absolutely cannot do any gun motions ever.
No, absolutely not. Like LeBron has his, I don't know, his cock and load thing that he does. He kind of
Yeah,
cocks
yeah,
it
yeah.
back. And I'm like, okay, yeah. But he's also hasn't been arrested for or showing a gun on social media. So it's
Right.
like, okay, LeBron
It's
can
a
load a
little
gun
different.
on the court. Yeah.
Yeah, I could think of
Um,
like Melo used to do the three to the head. That kind of was like a gun.
yeah. Yeah,
Uh,
exactly.
but it was
And
to
but
himself. It wasn't to the bench of
exactly.
the opposing team.
Yeah, that's so I never even thought about that. You're like shooting the other. That's so stupid. It's so
I haven't seen
stupid.
him do this in a while, but Jamal Murray used to do an arrow.
Oh yeah, yeah. He also, who else did it was Wesley Matthews.
Of course, Wesley Matthews. How could I
Of
forget?
course. No, I remember because he was the first one I saw, and I remember telling you like, yo, Wesley Matthews does this kind of cool thing where he does like a bow and arrow. He's like Jamal Murray's done that for years. I was like, who did it first? I don't even know. But that's pretty funny. I think it's hilarious the double downing
Got
of doing
got
that
warned, and he
motion.
said,
It's
"I'll do it
so
again."
funny to me. You got warned and said, "Oh yeah, bet," and just
Bet,
did it.
bet.
Um, Someone else who was warned. No, I don't even I don't even know how to go about this.
We can
Glenn Taylor
finally
and his
stop talking about
billions.
it after this.
Yes, you can fight. Glenn Taylor and his billions have agreed on Mark Lore and Alex Rodriguez acquiring 100% ownership of the Minnesota Timberwolves and the Minnesota Lynx for $1.5 billion, the number they originally agreed on in 2021. He purchased the organization back in 1994 for $94 million. So he's getting his billions.
He's getting, he's only getting 1.5 billion, so maybe that was the issue that he wasn't getting billions. He was just getting billion.
Yeah. He's like, I specifically said I want billions. He's like, I heard billion. What about 1.5? Like, make it two, and then I'll die happy. And it's been 4 years of it's not billions, it's not billions. Ah la la la, it's not
Literally four
billions.
years is crazy,
Yeah,
but
he's
it's
just
finally
like,
over.
maybe they'll win a champion. Yeah, it's finally over. It's finally over.
Gee, he's like watching the
We gotta make a
Timberwolves
shirt.
going to, oh, that would be a great shirt. I just want like
Yeah.
Glenn Taylor with a blind cane on the court, like money raining down. I don't know
I w
why.
or I was thinking a picture of Glenn Taylor, just a
Okay.
picture of Glenn Taylor, and it says "looking for my billions,"
Looking
and
for
that's
my,
it, and no one would get it.
and no one knows who Glenn Taylor is or what he looks
Yeah,
like. So
exactly. Yeah, or
like, who is this
exactly.
guy?
It's just some old white guy on a t-shirt. It says "looking for my billions." Um,
I mean,
okay,
still
fine.
accurate, I guess.
We'll do the t-shirt. Fine.
You can
Okay.
put anybody's face on a shirt looking for my billions. It's probably accurate. Who isn't looking for the billions?
Are we just gonna do that now?
I'd gladly take some billions.
That's so funny. Oh
More
man.
front
Oh,
office news. The Portland Trailblazers signed general manager Joe Cronin to a multi-year contract extension. They were 22 and 16 since January 19th at the time of this extension being announced. And during that time, they're also a top five defense, which is quite impressive given their record for the rest of the regular season. And then they also signed Chauncey Billups to a multi-year extension. This happened just a couple days ago. So their front office and their head coach still locked in. So I guess they're happy with kind of the development they saw in the Blazers, despite them, of course, finishing as the 12 seed this year, 10 games under 500. Um, Not bad though, I mean, that's what we expected going into this season. So I guess they saw the development they needed from their players to kind of feel confident in those extensions.
yeah. It's nice to see it when coaches are rewarded like this. Like the season, like it seems like they're doing it right. Yeah, the Blazers weren't expected to be in the playoffs or the play-in. They played really well and didn't make it to either. But the organization isn't going to fire them. It's like, they're figuring it out, and it seems like they have a good thing going there. I'm excited to see what they do next season. And yeah, and they beat the Lakers in the last game of the season. So
Big.
good for them.
Did
Yeah,
the Lakers
good
play
for them.
anyone? Probably not,
I didn't look. I was at Coachella. It's
naturally.
unfortunate. I remember I got game for somehow I had no signal, but I was getting game updates. And it
Hmm.
just said like after the first quarter, Blazers 40, Lakers 22. I was like, no way we're not playing LeBron and Luca. This just
Yeah.
doesn't seem right.
A lot of teams
Um
ran some guys. PJ Tucker started the last day of the season.
PJ Tucker?
Yeah, started for the Knicks on the last day of the season.
Oh, he's on the Knicks. I was like, what team is he even on? Okay. Um, in other news, so we went from like contract extensions. We're gonna talk about some firings that have happened recently.
Woo!
So the New Orleans Pelicans fired their head of basketball operations, David Griffin, after 6 seasons. Joe Dumars is currently the front runner to get that job. He is the head of basketball operations for the entire NBA. So it'd be interesting if he steps down from that to get the smaller job, but maybe it'd be kind of. It seems like instead of just being for the whole NBA, it'd be kind of nice to just have one team to kind of focus on. But I don't know. We'll
Yeah,
see.
he's
Do you know what the
always
head of basketball operations does?
he's like also the executive vice president. I know he announces like he announces, but also I guess is a part decision maker in when players and teams and stuff are like fined. Like whenever the NBA released those posts, his name is usually like
Mm.
the signee for it.
Oh,
So
like okay,
I guess that's part of his job. I guess he's kind of just managing the entire NBA as a whole. In that regard. I don't really know, exactly
that's a
what it is,
lot.
but I know he's from I know he's from the Louisiana area, so maybe that's why he wants to go there as well. Um,
Oh, that makes a lot of sense. I did not know that.
Pistons legend. He,
Absolutely, it's funny
he
to see him like. What's up?
I was just gonna say he also used to be the Pistons head of basketball operations too. So
Yeah, well, I was gonna say it's also kind of funny to see him signing off fines for like finger motions when he was like pushing people to the ground, like and kneeing people and like elbowing people and all this stuff. So kind of funny.
yeah,
Um,
times were different.
absolutely they
He said,
were.
"How dare you? I would never."
I would never. Don't pull up the footage. Don't pull up the footage.
Other firings, the Phoenix Suns fired coach Michael Budenholzer after they ended up missing the NBA playoffs, which is still crazy to me. They finished as the 11th seed. So after whoever they decide to hire, this is going to be their fourth head coach in 4 seasons and their eighth in 11 seasons. So Monty Williams was their most successful coach in kind of recent memory. He kind of stepped away. They hired Frank Vogel, fired him after a year because they thought I mean, he made the playoffs at least, but they thought it wasn't working.
Huh.
Mike Budenholzer, not working, fired. Um, is this a coaching issue? Probably not. Um, Probably a roster issue, like we talked about when they fired Frank Vogel a year ago on this very podcast.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that right there. I think it's a roster issue. I think that's what stayed consistent. Yeah, I
Matt
hate to see
Ishbia
this is
going
like the
crazy.
yeah, this is the thing I kind of hate. You know, I kind of wish Frank Vogel was still there. He's a very good head coach, defensive minded. I don't even know what like Coach Bud's system is. I watched
Mm-mm.
some Suns and I was like, I don't know what they're doing up there. Like, yeah. Anyways, I know there and there's a whole bunch going on this season, right? With like them trying to convince like Bradley Beal to ask for a trade, so putting him
Hmm.
like coming off the bench, and I'm like, why are you playing mind games? Like that's not coach. I mean, that's not coach. Well, I
I
guess
mean,
there's some mind games that go with it being a
he
coach,
might have
but
not
not like
been,
that.
the main
It's true.
proprietor of that. He
Yeah,
could have been kind of forced his hand to do so.
you're
Um,
right. You're right. I definitely don't want to assume that was him, but it's just interesting all
just
that kind of
a
stuff that
disaster
goes.
this season for the Suns. Have Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal the whole season's like, I have my no trade clause. Ha ha ha. I'll never leave. Um,
Yeah.
and he didn't, I guess, adapt to the role they wanted him to, coming off the bench, yada yada yada. Signed Tyus Jones, a couple good guys in the offseason. I think we both thought they were gonna have a fine season. They did not.
Yeah.
Kevin Durant is apparently likely going to be traded this summer. It's kind of voicing that. So again, from the signing to the Nets, getting traded from there to the Suns, and now he's probably going to leave again. I don't know where to, but it is not looking good in Phoenix right now.
Yeah. Well, I will say, okay, it's so interesting. They ended up 11th with definitely, I would say, like two top 10 players in the league right now, right? We could probably say
Yeah,
that, right?
Kevin Durant for sure.
With
I don't
Booking,
know if I'd go that far with Devin Booker at this current moment, but
the top 15, top, well, that's still
sure.
crazy, two,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah. He's still a bucket. And I will say this about it, like, I respect Kevin Durant again, like for not tr being traded before the trade deadline. There were a lot of rumors, and he said he wanted to stay there to finish out the season. Um, but yeah, I'm interested to see where he might go. At least it'll make the offseason a little interesting. There'll be like rumors flying around and stuff. So I'll be waiting for that to drop, the Shams bomb to drop.
I also must mention Kevin Durant missed the rest of the season, ineligible for all NBA teams, and he was on both of our teams. I think he ended up with 62 or 63 games played. So I'll replace him with Tyrese Halliburton, who I didn't have on my team. Get a Pacers rep in there.
Oh, cool. I'll replace him with TJ McConnell.
Great.
Let's do
That's
it.
that's a great pick. I like that a
No,
lot.
no.
In the same vein, I think we both had Ty Jerome for six man of the year. No,
Oh, is he not
I had
eligible?
him second. He's not eligible. Um, he
What?
has the
Oh
games
man.
played requirement, but you have to play 20 minutes a game. He's averaging 19.8 minutes a game, ineligible for the award. So
19.8. Come on, round up. Hey, Adam Silver, round
I think you have
up.
to
Come
play
on.
20 minutes in 63 games and 15 minutes in the other two. Um,
What the heck? What does
yeah,
that even
he
mean?
is eligible for most improved player. That award eligibility is different, but he's not eligible for six man of the year.
I
So
wish you could see my face right now. That's crazy.
I'll replace him on my ballot. I'll say Peyton Pritchard wins, and I'll throw Malik Beasley in there to make Jared happy because Malik Beasley had 305 threes this season at least.
Yeah, you know who beat him?
Hmm. Anthony
So
Edwards.
I was yeah, I was gonna put this in the notes. I forgot. So yeah, Malik Beasley was gonna get the record of most threes in the season, but in the last game of the season, Anthony Edwards made seven threes to pass him by one.
I think those are the
So
only two players not named Steph and Clay to have over 305 in a season.
yes, it's also the first season where multiple players have had over 300 threes in a season. First time
That's
ever.
wild.
Yeah, it's just going to be the first time. I mean, it's the first time it's going to be more common as the game
Right.
goes on. So,
Not the two
so
players
similar.
I would have predicted at the start of the season to finish with over
Absolutely not.
300 threes.
I mean, we love both those players here, but definitely not what we expected from them
Not
this
exactly known
season.
as, I mean, before the season, not known as pinpoint shooters.
Absolutely not. Well, it's wild too because Anthony Edwards for most of the season had the highest 3-point percentage in the league. I think it went down.
He
I think he's
was
still
a
top five.
crazy volume
Yeah.
shooter.
Yeah. Well, back to some other news. So, in the same vein as the Phoenix Suns firings, this happened a little bit earlier. The Denver Nuggets fired out of the blue head coach Michael Malone on Tuesday, April 8th, with just 3 games left in the regular season. Denver also announced that general manager Calvin Booth will not return to the team next season. In the meantime, David Adelman will serve as the interim head coach for the Nuggets. When you saw this, what was your first reaction?
I thought that the Taylor Jenkins firing was going to be the craziest thing that happened before the season ended, and then this happened. Um, it's insane, This is an insane time. It's like the latest in a season that a coach of an above 500 team has been fired, I think ever. Um, and I think it was like this and Taylor Jenkins as well as another guy like way back when are the only three that have ever been fired at a certain point on a winning team. Um, so it's kind of crazy. And I think, this really blindsided me. I didn't see this coming at all. Apparently, from the rumors, the speculations is that they were both Malone and Calvin Booth were going to be let go at the end of the season because they just haven't been gelling very well. But a lot of disputes on kind of how the team should be run and things like that. So they're going to get rid of him anyways. And then I guess that the Nuggets ownership saw, a window kind of closing, and decided, maybe this will motivate our guys before the playoffs. That's really the only thing I can think. I just think it's kind of a crazy decision because now the team has to adapt and change to their interim head coach right before the playoffs. So I don't. I think the timing is super strange. This guy won a championship 2 seasons ago with the team. Maybe he lost the locker room or whatever. I saw some player interviews that were like, yeah, I mean, Michael Malone has a great game plan for us. We're just not executing well enough. So it sounded like, like they weren't mad at him or anything. They just were mad at themselves more. But I guess ownership saw it differently and thought that he was not leading the team down a path to victory when they have this kind of championship window in the Jokic era, and they said, you know what, we need to pull the rug from under them right now. But I thought it's a weird time. It's a really weird time for them to do this. What about you?
I mean, exactly the same reaction. I thought I misread it. It didn't make a lot of sense to me, especially after the Taylor Jenkins thing. Maybe the Nuggets saw that and they're like, "Oh, we can do that? I didn't know we could do that. We could fire head coaches. What?" So it's crazy because Michael Malone. Wait, is he also the most winning coach in Nuggets history? Right?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, so it's like crazy. These two coaches for these two teams, two franchises, and they're had the most wins and they're let go. Yeah, I also feel it was pretty so disrespectful. 3 games before the end of the season. I texted my friend who's a huge Denver Nuggets fan because he's from the Denver area. I asked him, "Do you have any kind of intel?" And he just kind of said the same thing, like he lost the locker room. I was
Hmm.
like, I didn't see that at all. Like I kind of saw most of the players like you said, kind of mentioning that we have a plan and we need to stick with it, and then that's how we win games. So no one was kind of like, yeah, it's all the coach's fault. Like he has a bad plan. So yeah, I don't like it,
What about
for obvious reason.
what about the Nuggets being a cheap NBA team and not paying to keep Bruce Brown, Jeff Green, or KCP? I feel like that could be part of the issue, the coaching. I don't know,
You know
just
what?
me.
You think the second apron, you think it shouldn't matter to a Denver Nuggets team that just won the championship? I don't know. Do you want a back-to-back championship? I guess you know what? They didn't want the challenge. They're like, no, we'll wait. So, yeah, I hate to see that for the team and for fans. Because as much as maybe I don't agree with something as Michael Malone says, he's a really good coach, and also he's the only coach that Nikola Jokic. He's not the only coach, sorry, but he's the one he's had the most success with. So,
Right.
are you hoping to unlock another? Is there another stage to the evolution of Nikola Jokic, or did you have someone who was able to unlock that team to the best of its ability?
Well, I
Yeah,
don't
and
feel
it
like it'll be
should just
David Adelman 3 days before the playoffs, but maybe I'm wrong.
I'm right there with you, man. I don't think so either. Um, yeah, I just why can't you just wait till the end of the playoffs? Like you're not gonna make it to the Western Conference Finals, so just fire him after the second round or something, you know?
Right. Yeah. Weird decision. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I'm sure I bet more will come out about all of these firings like in the summer. Like that's just what always happens. Like just
Yeah.
things kind of come out when there's the
Yeah. This was
lull
another
of
thing that I
the
read, and I was like, okay, what did he do? What did he do off the court?
yeah. Literally, but it's like I don't know. This now it seems like it might not even be that. It's just we'll
Is
see.
it,
We'll see.
we talked about it on this podcast before. Coaches are often the first to kind of be the scapegoats, take the blame for any kind of team issue. I mean,
For
we just
sure,
talked
yeah.
about the Suns having 4 coaches in 4 years, so it's like it's not a coaching thing. I don't know what to tell you. Um,
Yeah. Well, and also if you think about it, head coaches also don't get as like if they
the
don't
the
earn
leash
as
is
much as
very short.
players or yeah, yeah. So it's like, you can just replace them pretty
Oh, I see what you're
easily.
saying.
Like
Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's what I mean. Yeah. So
yeah.
anywho, let's talk about good news.
All right, last thing before we get into the playoffs. 2025 Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame was announced. We have in the 2025 class Carmelo Anthony, Dwight Howard, Sue Bird, Maya Moore, Sylvia Flowers, Danny Crawford, the entirety of the 2008 U.S. Men's Olympic Basketball team, Billy Donovan, and Mickey Arison have all been inducted. What do you think?
My first question was Billy Donovan a player before a coach?
I don't believe so. My guess, we talked about this earlier. Florida, the two back-to-back champions. Billy Donovan was the coach of those two teams. Um, that
Oh,
that would be my
gotcha.
guess, but I don't know.
I think it's interesting to induct someone into the Hall of Fame who hasn't retired yet. That doesn't really make any sense to me.
I
But
said
besides that,
Sylvia.
I
I
mean,
said Sylvia Flowers. It's definitely Sylvia Foles. I was reading that and I was like, that's not right.
it
Um, I either made a mistake
probably autocorrected.
or yeah, or something like that. But I was reading that and I was like, that doesn't sound right. Yeah, definitely Sylvia Foles, former WNBA player.
Cool. I don't know a lot of these people actually. I mean, I know Carmelo, I know Dwight Howard, I know Sue Bird, I know the 2008 Olympics
Maya
team,
Moore is
Billy
also a
Donovan.
very good WNBA player. I recognize that name.
I mean, I'm sure they're all very good. I just don't remember like Danny Crawford or Mickey
Oh, you would know
Carson.
Danny Crawford. I'm looking him up right now. It's official. Um,
Oh, okay, gotcha.
yeah, I just looked at him.
But I mean, yeah, I like that it's not exclusive to ba NBA basketball players, you know?
Hmm.
Like I like that it's just like basketball in general as a sport, like referees,
It is very
coaches.
cool.
I do love that. Yeah, I like that instead of just players for sure. Like it's not just about the players, so much more goes into it. So I like that about this for sure.
Shout
Do you
out
have any notes about it? I mean,
Carlos Boozer. He was on that team, I think, the Olympic team. Random.
oh, yeah. Shout
That's the
out.
Redeem team, right? Is that what that is?
Yeah, that is the Redeem team.
Yeah.
So LeBron, D Wade, um,
Kobe.
Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched a movie about that. Forgot.
Yeah.
Pretty sick. Yeah, so congrats to them. I was really confused when I saw Billy Donovan. I was like, he's still a coach. So,
He's in the
but
Hall of Fame.
I don't know if they know that, but yeah, so now they're like now the Bulls are gonna be like, you're gonna fire me. I'm like the head I'm in Hall of
I'm
Fame
literally
head
in the Hall
coach.
of Fame.
Like how dare you? Yeah, so that's gonna be some
That'd be funny.
kind of funny. Anywho, so that's all the news. I mean, like we said, it's mostly now just getting ready for the playoffs. So I'm super excited. Shall we just kind of dive in
Yeah,
and
I know
just
last
kind of
time we did this, I think
preview?
you typed our predictions. Do you want to do that too? Or
I actually wrote them down and I'm
okay.
grabbing my notebook right now.
Huge. Huge. I'm gonna do this. While you're doing that, I want to go over the standings for the listeners in case they don't
Please
know.
do.
So let me start with the eliminated teams. I'll go bottom to top, so 15, 14, 13, so on. In the East, at the 15 seed, we have the Wizards, Hornets, 76ers, Nets, and Raptors. All missed the postseason. The West, we have 15 seeded Jazz, Pelicans, Spurs, Trailblazers, and the aforementioned Suns. So those are all the teams that missed the playoffs. In the playoffs, or the play-in, I guess, we're going to have the Kings and Mavericks, the 9 and 10 seed, respectively. They're going to be playing each other. The winner of that game will play the loser of the Warriors and Grizzlies. That is the 7 and 8 seed matchup. And then whoever wins that game becomes the eighth seed. Whoever wins the Warriors Grizzlies game will be the seventh seed. And then the other from bottom to top, six Timberwolves, five Clippers, four Nuggets, three the Lakers, two your Houston Rockets, and the Thunder are the number one in the West by 16 games. Absolutely dominated the West. Then over in the
I just,
East,
I
sorry, go ahead.
sorry, I just love that pause for the Rockets. That was very cinematic.
Of course. Um, Over in the East, we have the Bulls and Heat playing the 9 and 10 game in the play-in. Winner of that will play the loser of Hawks Magic. That's I said them in backward order, 8-7. 7 seed Magic, 8 seed Hawks. Whoever wins that game will be the 7th seed. Pistons are the 6 seed, Bucks the 5 seed, Pacers 4th, Knicks 3rd, Celtics 2nd, and the Cavaliers had the best record in the East for the regular season. So that's how the standings kind of shook out. We will go through now, I suppose, kind of a bracket where we'll make our picks, starting with the play-in games, and then go from there and see what our thoughts of kind of the championship is going to look like. What do you think?
I cannot wait for this. This is something that, I always look forward to kind of all season is trade deadline and off season, moratorium like free agent signings.
Hmm.
Huge. Obviously city jerseys, come on, that is the
That's
best.
the number one.
And
I think
then
right after finals.
that
Finals
yeah,
is like number two, and then
and
city
then
jerseys is
finals,
number
yeah.
one for
And
sure.
then playoffs, like I mean, come on, like that's the cream of it's like the best of the best. And last year, like I think w w what people tend to remember is like the champion, right? Celtics won, but to
Mhm.
get to that point was such a good playoffs. Like it really, there was like a lot of game sevens. There was a lot of like, the Pacers Celtics. Like Pacers almost stole a couple games there. They didn't, it was even though it didn't look like it on paper. They're like 4-1, right? Celtics won. It was like there's a lot of good series. The
Mhm.
Knicks and Pacers had a great series. So, um, I just can't wait. I freaking love basketball, man.
Loves it. I was looking at my standings predictions that we did earlier this season. Want to go over a
Yeah.
couple of my big misses real quick.
Okay, you got it. I'm finishing up this.
I had the Clippers as the 13 seed. They finished as the 5 seed, so that's not a good look. I had the Rockets as the 11 seed. I had them missing the playoffs entirely. And they're number two. My own team. I had the
You
Lakers
know,
as, sorry, go ahead.
no, 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 you go, you go. I'm gonna find mine as well.
Say I had the Lakers as the 9 seed. They finished third. Uh, can't predict the Luka trade. Not my fault. I had the Pelicans as the 8 seed. They didn't make the playoffs. They're the 14 seed. Yikes. Uh, Suns I had as the 6 seed. They didn't make the playoffs. They were the 11 seed. And then the other big disparity in the West, I had the Mavericks as the 2 seed, and they were the 10 seed. I'll again blame the Luka trade for that one.
Yeah,
In the East, yeah, go
oh,
ahead.
you keep going, King. Well, okay, I can do my West because I pulled it up.
Okay,
So, um, I had Suns as the 3 seed.
okay,
Quite high. I had Pelicans 7. I had Kings 8, which I guess that's I was pretty
yeah.
good
I
about
had
that
King
actually.
7, so like not far off.
Yeah, I had Lakers 9, so I'm glad I was wrong about that. And I had Rockets 11, Clippers 12. So,
We had the Lakers and Rockets in the same place.
that's yeah, we don't love our teams as much as we thought.
We're a little pessimistic. I think it's okay. Um,
I was just, every year we've gotten in the play-in. Like I sent you a post earlier. I don't know if you saw it, but they should basically the NBA should just call the play-in tournament the Warriors
oh
postseason
yes, I did
invitation.
see this.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're always
So that
there. It
was gonna
feels
be the
like the
Lake.
Hawks are always there too.
Yeah, I thought it's gonna be Lakers Warriors till like the end till while Steph and LeBron are still playing. So
I saw a stat that
finally,
was like the most points and rebounds in the play-in are both are Jonas Valanciunas because the Pelicans were always there.
oh yeah, they definitely were. Tell me about your East real quick.
Yeah, I'll just go over again the ones that were very wrong. I had the Sixers as the 3rd seed. Uh, they were the 13th seed. I forgot the one in front. My bad. Um, what else? I had the Cavs as the 7th seed. Of course, they finished with the best record in the East. And then my other not so good one, I had the Pistons all the way down at 12, disrespecting them. I had the Bulls 13th as well, so I had the Bulls and Pistons not even sniffing the play-in really.
Yeah, yours and I are pretty similar. At Sixers at 2.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I had Cavs at 7,
Yeah.
and I had the Pistons at 13.
Wow.
So yeah, yeah. You know what? I like being a little wrong.
This is why, I mean, this
We're
is
not
why
all
we love the
wrong.
NBA because you can't predict it, It's different every
Yeah,
time.
it's not exactly. That's why I love this, man. All right. Shall we? What do you want to do? West or East first plan?
You know, take me through, take me on a journey.
Okay, let's go on a journey. So let's go. We're gonna go in the order of how about the games that are playing? How about that? You
Let's
want
do
to do
that.
that?
Yeah.
I think that makes a lot of sense. So tomorrow we have the Hawks and Magic, the seventh and eighth seeds in the East playing. Who do you got?
Okay, this is probably the hardest one of all four. Um, maybe this is tough because I think both of these teams have a real chance. Um, wow, I I'm looking at it and I'm like I really don't know which team I would pick. I'm gonna say the Hawks. I'm gonna say the Hawks pull off the road win in Orlando. That Orlando just hasn't looked as good since Paolo and Franz came back from injury. Still no Jalen Suggs, so they may struggle with Trey Young perhaps, even though they're a defensive-oriented team. And Zachary Ricochet has been really, really good the past couple weeks, so maybe that continues in the play-in. I'll say Hawks. What about you?
I was going back and forth as well in my mind, but I just can't trust the Magic right now is the thing.
They've been very
I
shaky.
just Yeah, and like you said, you mentioned Jalen Suggs. I think that was a really big anchor for them, and definitely would have been the primary defender on Trey Young. And you got to worry about Dyson Daniels, and like you said, Zachary Ricochet is playing very well. And yeah, I just don't think there's enough weapons on the Magic to really offset what the Hawks can do. So I think Hawks as well.
Yeah,
So that would make them the seventh seed. Are we comfortable with that? That would
yeah,
be the seventh seed. All
yeah,
right,
for sure.
there we go. That's goal. That's in. That's locked in. That's locked in.
We're
We can't
locked.
change that. All right. Next we got this one I'm very excited for. Grizzlies Warriors.
Yeah. Both of these teams at a point, the Warriors were like the 3 seed, 4 seed, like 5 days ago, and then they're in the play-in. The Grizzlies were like the 2 seed like a couple weeks ago. So that's how crazy the West was to wind down the season. That they
Yeah.
could go from 2 to 8 in just a couple weeks is insane. This one is actually I don't think it's going to be too difficult. I think the Warriors have been really, really hot lately. I see them taking this game at home in Chase Center against the Grizzlies.
I see Warriors taking it too. I just love the kind of rivalry that has started a couple years ago. I know it was mostly when Dylan Brooks was on there. But I still kind of feel that like Grizzlies, Warriors fire whenever I watch them play, and especially in Chase Center. So I say Warriors too, but I think it's going to be a really entertaining game
Yeah.
for sure.
Two for
Cool.
two so far in agreement.
Cool. Okay. Good start. I mean, these are the play-ins. These are should be the easier ones. Heat and Bulls. Who do you got?
Yeah, this is easy. The Heat have looked terrible since the Jimmy Butler trade. The Bulls have been fun. I'm going to take the Bulls. The exciting
Yeah, the
whites.
Bulls. Yeah, the Bulls beat the Lakers. So and also Modest Buzelis has been playing really well. So I'm going to take the Bulls as well. Cool.
Yeah, yeah,
Next, I was like, what do I forget? I was trying to remember like how the seeding works. So now the Bulls would play the Magic. So
correct.
who do you got in that?
So Orlando would be hosting the Bulls. This is for the 8 seed. I'm taking the Chicago Bulls for the upset, slipping into the playoffs at the 8 seed behind Josh Giddey and Kobe White, the duo that everybody loves. So I'm gonna go with them. The Magic have just, they've been sliding kind of wonky all season. I think they just kind of, limp out here.
Yeah. No, I'm right with you. I think the Bulls too because at least they seem to be even though they're gonna lose in the first round of these playoffs for sure. It looks like they're having fun and they ever since like those trades they did like maybe don't agree with what they get back in return, but they're playing some great fun basketball and winning games and beating good teams.
They
So
look like they're having a good
uh,
time out there.
yeah, so I love to see that. So
Under Hall
I
of
so
Famer
Bulls.
Billy Donovan, the Bulls will not be stopped.
So the Bulls, we have the Bulls as the eighth seed, as the final eighth seed playing the
Yeah,
Cavs.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Back to the West, we got Mavericks, Kings. What do you think?
Yeah, this is kind of a tough one too. No Kyrie, of course, for the Mavericks. He's out for the season. They do have AD. They do have Clay. They do have the legend that is Max Christie. Um, that being said, this season has been so crazy for them. We didn't even talk about this, but the Luca comeback to Dallas. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
He was crying
yeah.
tears of agony during his tribute video during warm-ups. Looked really pained, really hurt. Nico Harrison was in the tunnel all game, surrounded by security, which is kind of hilarious. And then he dropped 45 on him. And he wasn't doing the Luca thing where he was yelling at the fans and stuff. He was just scoring on him and just like, yep, this is what you guys lost. You're stupid. Um, so pain is what the Mavericks fans, I think, are currently feeling, and I think the pain ends here. I'm going to take the Kings to win this game. I think, they're hosting DeRozan, Levine. I know they don't have a great track record of working together, but I think for this specific kind of one game scenario, I don't see the Mavericks, especially with all their other injuries, Gafford, Lively, blah blah blah. So many guys that are in and out of that lineup right now. Just feel like they're calling it quits. They're kind of surrendering here and going into the off season.
Yeah, I would also say the Kings. The Kings have been playing really well these last few games. They were playing because they had something to play for. I mean, if they were going to lose these games, they're really fighting like the Suns. There's really the Suns and them fighting for like that, and Mavericks like the bottom like three, like seven, or like 19, 11. So one of them was going to get out, and the Kings kind of came in and won a lot of really good close games. So I think the Kings have been on a roll, so they'll probably win. The Mavericks are just a little too beat up, and I honestly I get no joy out of that. It's not the fans' faults, that this trade happened. And as much as I am happy that Luca is a Laker, I'm also very sad that he's not a Maverick. So,
Yeah.
um,
You know who else is
but
sad?
I do have the
This guy
Kings.
right here, PJ. He's sad.
Oh, he's so sad right now,
I
dude.
can't
He's
even
crying
point
right
to him
now.
correctly.
It's okay. So we got the Kings winning
Yeah,
against the Mavericks. So that means Grizzlies, Kings in Memphis.
in Memphis. Yeah,
You
for the
got.
eight seed. This is tough. This is a tough game. I think, you know, um, I think I'll just default to the Grizzlies because I think their team has a lot more experience. I believe in Ja Jaren and Desmond Bain, despite kind of the woes they've been in, the Taylor Jenkins firing not so long ago. Um, I just feel like they're just a more competent team right now than the Kings, so I'll take them as the eight seed, I suppose.
See, this is our first disagreement.
Ta
Um,
Taking Sacktown,
I
huh?
think. I think I would take the Kings in this scenario.
Okay.
Not that it would be an easy game by any means, but I think the Kings, there's a narrative right now, that they were the three seed. They lost, and the head coach is gone. De'Aaron Fox is gone. I think they're kind of playing for something. Not De'Aaron, DeMar DeRozan's one of the clutch players in basketball. I think they're just going to score a lot. I could see it going either way though, but I trust. I still want to think about it. I mean, I like the experience that the Grizzlies have playing all together. Like Levine, DeMar, and Sabonis haven't really. I'm convincing myself it's going to be Grizzlies because I remember I've been watching their spacing, and their spacing is it hurts. It hurts me to watch. So,
They do have the Kings do have elite rebounder Domantas Sabonis, which worries me because Jaren Jackson cannot rebound. He's had a great season. He's going to make an all defensive team, maybe an all NBA team, but his uh his rebounding struggled. They do now have Zach Edey though to absorb some of that. So
yeah, I'll probably take Grizzlies because of the experience. I think it'll come down to that, especially playing at home.
I'll tell you
I
this,
kind
it
of convinced myself
won't
while
matter
talking.
next round.
So.
So
Yes, yes, absolutely. There's no way the Kings would beat the Thunder or yeah. So yeah, I'll put down Grizzlies. I kind of convinced myself talking
oh,
through it. So
okay,
easy
where are we
enough,
going
I
now?
guess. All right, now let's just kind of like ping pong around, I'd
Sure.
say. So let's go back to the East.
Yeah.
Let's do Cavs Bulls. What do you
I'll
think?
I'll take the Cavs in four. I don't usually take sweeps, but I just don't see the Bulls doing a whole lot here.
Okay. I am gonna say in five Cavs in five.
Yeah.
I really don't know what else really to say. We mentioned it earlier. The Cavaliers are a force to be reckoned with.
Yeah,
They
there's
have. a
I,
great 8, 9 man rotation. Like it's hard. It's hard. It's gonna be hard for anyone.
I feel like we don't have to do a ton of analysis until we get really down to like the super competitive series. But yeah, this one I think is
Yeah,
a wash. Are you writing down
it's that
games for
simple.
us too?
Yeah, I'm writing it down.
Okay,
Yeah.
I'm curious to see how that looks afterward,
Yeah,
after the
me too.
playoffs.
That's yeah. I was debating it. It's like why not? It does suck that both of our names start with D, so I have to write out our whole name so we know who
Mm,
it is. Or I can put DG and DB.
you just write
Damn.
25. Um,
No,
if
come
you know, you
on,
know.
man. You're 100 to me.
Thank you.
You're 100%.
Interesting.
Like, I know, yeah,
Wait a
What is that
minute.
supposed to? Okay. No. Okay. I want to get to a kind of fun one real quick.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
I'm gonna cut to the West.
Okay.
Houston Rockets, Golden State Warriors.
Mm. This is going to be really tough. The Warriors have looked so good since the Jimmy Butler trade. Draymond
Yeah.
Green is trying to make himself Defensive Player of the Year, and he has been really good on defense. There's no doubt about that. We have our own fair share of really good defenders, Amin Thompson, Dylan Brooks, that we can kind of throw, Tyrese, and even we can throw it at Steph and Jimmy and Draymond, Jabari Smith too. I should have mentioned. So this would be a really fun series, I think. It's really scary because I think the Warriors are, even as a 7 seed, it's like that's a really scary 7 seed with Steph Curry, Draymond, those guys, how good they've been in their playoff history. And then they like I said, they've been really good since acquiring Jimmy. Very physical, I think can match kind of with our physicality down there. A little worried about Şengün and kind of what he can do against a team like that with Draymond and Jimmy and even Looney and those guys. I would probably have to say, leaning on experience, that the Rockets are going to be upset in 6 by the Warriors. Scary thought, but that's what my gut would tell me. Great
This
season
is
for
actually
us,
hilarious.
but yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead.
Sorry, no. It's a great season for the Rockets. This is very good for them. You know what I mean? Like good
Yeah,
morale. Like you're the second seed. It is not. I was gonna say it's so funny because in my head I'm like when I kind of saw it, I thought Warriors in 6. I think,
yeah,
but a tight 6. Like it's gonna be every game's gonna be really
yeah. I
close.
think it'll be a fun series.
Um,
I just feel like their experience will kind of be the tiebreaker.
Yes, I agree. But yeah, no, what's nice is that, you're the 2 seed and you might lose, but you're losing to like some of the greatest players to play the game. It's
Yeah,
not
even if
like
we
you're
get
just
upset
losing
in the
to
first
like the
round,
Kings or
it's a
whatever.
successful season.
Yeah,
So
absolutely. And you just build upon that success that you've already had. So I also would say Warriors in 6 because
yeah,
of those reasons. And they've looked really, really good.
Amon Thompson, DPOY. We'll see. Probably not, but we'll see. All right, so we did the 1-8 in the East and the 2-7 in the West. We're interesting
Yeah.
order so far, but I'm
Oh,
following.
I wish I was gonna show you. I got my bracket and I'm kind of like going like crisscrossing
I
around.
see, I see. Okay.
I want
Yeah,
to go from
Dom
like,
had to turn his video off for some technical issues, by the way, if you're
yeah, so
watching.
we appreciate you just listening to me and my voice that is fried from Coachella. Okay, let us cut over to the East again.
Yeah.
Let's make it a bit interesting. Let's do 3 seed Knicks, 6 seed Pistons.
This is going to be such a fun series, I think.
Yeah,
I'm very happy for the Pistons after last season making it not even into the play-in, straight into the playoffs. Super awesome.
yeah.
Really happy for them. They ran into a brick wall of a team here, though. I think their offense is a little too Cade heavy, and that it should be. He's the guy, but going against this team specifically, Mikhail, OG, I feel like he might have a tough time kind of initiating earlier in the season. Very prone to making turnovers, has been for most of his career. Definitely got better about it as the season has progressed. But I do think this playoff matchup where the Knicks are kind of dialed in on him, it'll be a little scary. And I don't think anyone else in that offense, I don't think they have a ton of secondary creation with Jaden Ivey being out, especially. And then down low, I just don't see anyone stopping Cat. really. Duran, I love Duran. You love Duran. We're a pro Duran podcast. Great rebounder. Hasn't been a great defender in the post or like a rim protector really. And part of that is because he's like 20 still, 21 maybe, he's still kind of growing into his body. So I feel like Cat is going to kind of give him issues. Cat, by the way, like second or third this league this year in rebounding. He's been a monster down there. So I'm gonna say Knicks in five. I think they're gonna kind of handle the Pistons because they've been in the playoffs the last couple of years, and the Pistons, great story, great season. I just don't think they have what they need to kind of get past this team.
I agree with everything you said. Without, Cade Cunningham is obviously the guy on the Pistons. If you make him a non-equation, not part of the equation at all, you're gonna make Malik Beasley, Tim Hardaway Jr., Tobias Harris, if he's even back. I don't know if Tobias is back. But you're gonna have to make these guys beat you. And
Right.
you got so many people on the Knicks that can take care of Cade. So I want to be a bit more optimistic. I think it's Pistons in six.
Okay.
I think the Pistons might get some
Pistons in
early wins,
six.
but I'm so sorry. Knicks in six. Knicks in six. Not yes. Knicks in six. Sorry, Knicks in six, not Pistons in six.
So it rhymes.
I
Knicks in
think that
six. I like it.
I think that the Pistons might get like an early like steal a home like a might go 1-1. Pistons will go up 3-1. Pistons might get one more and then Knicks will like just, get it.
Hmm.
So I think it'll be Knicks in six.
I like Knicks in six. I like the sound of it, so it's nice rolling off the tongue there.
Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool, right? I didn't even think about it. Definitely wasn't my plan at all.
Uh-huh, uh-huh,
Um,
uh-huh.
that's the way, uh-huh. So let's cut to the West. All
Okay.
right. We are looking at the 4 seed Denver Nuggets and the 5 seed Los Angeles Clippers.
Yeah, this is tougher than I thought it would be thinking about this series. I think Ty Lue has done a great job this year coaching the Clippers to this point, all the way to the five seed. I mean, we both predicted them to not even be in the playoffs. Zubac has like a DPOY case. He's been so good for them down low. Been good on offense as well. Harden has been running the offense. Kawhi has looked pretty good since coming back, entering the playoffs healthy for the first time in Lord knows how long. And then on the other side, the team that I think I would have easily picked, the Nuggets, just fired their coach less than a week ago and are entering this playoffs with a lot of question marks. I think Christian Brown has done a great job filling a role for them this year in the absence of KCP. I think he's grown kind of how they need him to grow, which is really nice. But I am a little worried about this team kind of, being in a frazzled state of mind after everything that's gone on in the last week. Um, it's a little concerning, but they do still have, in my opinion, the best player in the NBA. Nikola Jokic averaged a triple-double this year, third player in NBA history to do that behind Westbrook and Oscar Robertson. So that's awesome. Obviously, he's an offense to himself. While Zubac has been a great defender, um, has a DPOY case, I have seen Jokic embarrass four-time Defensive Player of the Year Rudy Gobert. So um, I don't really think that he could stop him. That being said, though, with how I think the momentum the Clippers are entering the playoffs with, whereas the Nuggets look kind of frazzled, I'm going to say Nuggets in seven. I think it'll be a competitive series. And, in seven really means like it was a little bit of a toss up, honestly, because I think the Clippers look much better than I thought they would. And Kawhi has looked really good, like I mentioned, but it's just hard to bet against Jokic, I think, this early on. So I'll go with them.
Dude, get out of my head. I was gonna say Nuggets in seven too. For all the same reasons that you said. We're like the same person at this point when it
We
comes to
are the same.
basketball. No, I love it. Yeah, if it was for the Michael Malone firing, I would say Nuggets in like six maybe. I the Clippers have been on a tear, and I even forgot that Kawhi Leonard's like playing basketball for like a bit. So, they've been very good and they've been sneaky good. But I think the Nuggets just have, like you said, the best player on the court.
Hmm.
And they have guys that have shown that they had playoff experience too. These Clippers haven't really. like succeeded that much in the playoffs. Like Jamal Murray, notoriously doesn't play super well unless it's against the Lakers, which is unfortunate. But they have Aaron Gordon, Christian Brown, like you said. They got Russell Westbrook coming off the bench, and I trust that the best player on the court will carry the team to the next round. So yeah, I say Nuggets in seven as well.
All
And
right.
I'm gonna say this: if there is a game seven, oh, it's gonna be in Denver. Damn, I
At
was gonna say if
Denver,
it's in
yeah.
LA, I would. Dang it, God, it sucks. Anyways,
Huh, huh,
maybe
huh,
another time.
huh, huh.
Um, okay.
You can go to game six in
Um,
LA.
Yeah, but I actually been to I just remembered I went to a Clippers playoff game. It just wasn't that fun. I if anything I will. It just wasn't because I wasn't that invested. I went there to root for. Oh yeah, it was the Suns versus the Clippers. So I was like, I guess I'm rooting for the
It's
Cl
like
I
two
was so
teams you don't like
conflicted.
that much,
Yeah, I wore my Westbrook Houston jersey and I
naturally.
got compliments for it. And then I was actually trying to root for the Clippers, and I felt disgusting. I don't know why. Like when Westbrook did
This is
something cool,
so
I was like,
wrong.
yeah, this is sick. But then like Paul George would do something like, I don't care, or I don't even remember if he played. Anyways, um, cool. Let's go back to the East.
We should have spoken a little bit
Um,
on Michael Malone's fire. It was right after Russell Westbrook completely blew a game for the Nuggets after missing a wide open layup. But I don't want to talk about that because I love Russell Westbrook. But yeah,
yeah, yeah, it's okay. It's okay, pal. It's okay. Okay, let's talk about this one. Should be pretty simple. Celtics Hawks, two
yeah.
seed versus the seventh seed.
I'll say Celtics in five. I think Trae Young is, always ready to get you a game. But Celtics are a great team. Um, I would. This is maybe the one I'd be most mind blown. Even though I said the Cavs are going to beat the Bulls in four, um, I think if the Celtics somehow lost to whoever they play at the seventh seed, I would be like so shocked, more than any of the other seeds.
Wait, say what do you wait? You'd be surprised if the Celtics lose at all?
Like if they lost the series,
Oh, the series. Yeah, 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 for sure, for sure.
like I'm
I'm
saying
gonna say
Celtics in
Celtic.
five, and I know I said Cavs in four, but I could still see the Cavs losing the series more than I could see the Celtics losing the series, if that makes sense.
I see. Yes, absolutely. I say Celtics in four. I
Yeah.
think there'll be some close games, but I'm just gonna say it's gonna be a sweep. I think they got all the confidence in the world right now, especially trying to go at the back-to-back championship. So we'll see if they we'll see in our bracket if they make it. We'll find
They're
out.
gonna make it.
Um,
No, no
dude,
shot
what are
they
you
don't.
talking about? Come on. Okay, let's cut back to the West. We're gonna
Yeah.
do Thunder Grizzlies.
Yeah. Thunder Grizzlies. It's similar with my other opinions of this kind of lopsided seating. I'm going to say Thunder in five. They've just looked so dominant over the Western Conference all year. Shea's going to win MVP probably. J-Dub has looked really good. Luke Dort, excellent defender. I think can do some good stuff on John Morant. May not be fast enough to kind of always be in front of him, but I do think we'll get kind of into his space and bother him enough. And then I think Jaren Jackson will be interesting matchup wise, but Chet I think is a better rebounder. Jaren's a better defender. And then the Thunder just have a better supporting cast. Their guys just fit in that system so well. Haven't talked a lot about Aaron Wiggins. He's had a really good year for them. I think he deserves some love. But even the rest of their bench depth, Isaiah Joe, Alex Caruso, I mean, they just have so many guys that do stuff for them. Whereas the Grizzlies, it's Ja, it's Jaren, it's Desmond Bane, and then it starts falling off relatively quick, especially with like the Jalen Wells injury we mentioned. Brandon Clark as well is out again. So I just think the Thunder are gonna kind of win the series pretty handedly in about 5 games.
Yeah, I also think Thunder in five. I think it'll probably go like 3-0. Memphis might win one in Memphis and then just go back home to Oklahoma City and then rest up. Yeah, so I think Thunder in five as well.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
right, we got two more series.
we sure do.
Series is Pacers Bucks, fourth and fifth seed. First off, can I say something?
Yeah.
Any series that has Pacers and Bucks is a movie. I
Right.
can't wait.
This was awesome last year.
Yeah.
Awesome in the NBA, the Emirates NBA Cup last year. Uh, but in the playoffs last year was pretty fascinating. I still don't know the exact Dame status, but I think as of now he's what didn't play the last couple games of their regular season. Um, the Pacers, under the radar, have been very, very good this season. Had a slow start. Halliburton had a slow start, and then their team kind of just kicked in the gear and kind of just cruised to the fourth seed without anyone really batting an eye. Because I think people were focused on the Cavs, the Pistons, etc. Bucks, meanwhile, Giannis has been a monster. I think in, let's say 95 out of 100 seasons, he wins an MVP award. He just happens to have two guys doing slightly more incredible things right above him. So he has been outstanding in his own right, though. I just think the supporting cast of the Bucks is much sloppier. They have to rely on Kuzma, who they traded for, um, Brook Lopez, who is an ancient, and Pat Connaughton had like 30 points in the last day of the season, which was insane. Um, Anyways, I think the Pacers' overall team quality is better. I'm gonna say, I'm Giannis can get you a game or two, so I'll go ahead and say Pacers in six.
I as there's a trend, I agree with you. I think without, especially with Dame being out,
Right.
I do think the Pacers have it. Plus, their unit has been together longer. They it's the same guys that were in the playoffs last year that made it all the way to the conference finals. So, Bucks, like you said, have to rely on Kuzma, who is still understanding the offense that he's playing in and whatnot. And Giannis is, of course, going to be playing out of his mind, but I do think it's going to be Pacers in six as well.
Yeah, Damian Lillard, blood clot, by the way. We talked about that. So yeah, I don't see him coming
Yeah,
back.
that's crazy. Yeah, you definitely you don't want to play around with that. That's for sure.
All
Um,
right, and
okay.
saving
Uh,
this one for last, I see.
Not on purpose, I swear. I wish you could look at me right now because I totally did. All right, we got our number three, Los Angeles Lakers versus the six seed Timberwolves.
Yeah, this may be the hardest one, honestly. Uh,
Really?
yeah,
I'm kidding.
yeah. Because I know one team has Luka and LeBron. It's like that team, right? But the Timberwolves went all the way to the conference finals last year. Anthony Edwards has been just on a tear this season. I think there can easily be games in the series where he looks like the best player on the court, even though one team has Luka and LeBron, which is a crazy thing to say. You still have Rudy Gobert, and the defense has been good. Not as talked about as much this season because I don't think the Wolves have had as much team success. But getting on the inside is going to be tough, especially with the bigs that I think the Lakers are running right now. Um, and then on the other side, you have LeBron, who's going to make an All NBA team in year blah blah blah. And you have Luca, who is finally starting to ramp it up and look really really good. Look more Luca as the season progresses, as we're getting into the postseason. We know he's a postseason performer. Um, so yeah, this series is really tough for me to analyze because I also think the Timberwolves have a better supporting cast than the Lakers do. Guys like Jaden McDaniel stick out to me, kind of defend Luca and LeBron. To kill Alexander Walker, he's been really good for them this year. So it's hard. It's really hard. I am going to make a bold claim here that you're not going to like, and probably
I already feel it.
won't agree with. I'm going to say Wolves in seven. That's what they did to the Nuggets last year. They went up 3-0, and then the Nuggets won three in a row, but they won game seven in Denver last year. So I think they could do it in LA, perhaps. So I will say Wolves in seven. That'll be my take right now. It's really tough though. The N7 series are practically a coin flip for me. Um,
Yeah,
I could easily see either of these teams winning, but Anthony Edwards just looks like a monster right now. So
yeah. Um, I disagree, of
yeah,
course.
naturally.
Um, by no means, by any stretch of the imagination, do I think it's easy. I just trust LeBron and Luca more in the playoffs, and the biggest question mark for me is, of course, the supporting cast that the Timberwolves have versus the Lakers.
Yeah.
And then also like our big men, we have Jackson Hayes. Whoop-de-doo. It's like we might be able to run. We have been running LeBron at like the five, like small ball lineup, but then you have to worry about Rudy Gobert getting all
That's
these
so
rebounds.
scary.
So yeah, so exactly. So there's a lot of things you have to think about, but I think I've been watching a lot of Lakers and quite a bit of Timberwolves, and I just think that the Lakers have well, first off, they have home court advantage, which I think is going to help out a lot.
Yeah.
Honestly might be a different story if it was in Minnesota, just because just traveling and rest and whatnot. I trust. Um, I don't know. I just trust Luca a lot because he led the Dallas Mavericks, and I think their last year, but their supporting cast was better last year. I'm not gonna. I don't. I think the Dallas Mavericks last year are better than the Los Angeles Lakers as they are currently.
Hmm.
Um, but I just trust Luca and LeBron a lot more. Plus, Jared Vanderbilt has been playing a lot of great defense. Just put him on Anthony Edwards. Gabe Vincent has actually been surprisingly really good. We have Dorian Finney-Smith as well. So, Jaden McDaniels and Nickeil Alexander-Walker are scary, but outside of there's like six, I don't know. I don't trust Julius Randle at all. His postseason record is not very good.
There's a reason I didn't bring him
So
up in my argument. So,
I know, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
but
I
Nas
think,
Reed though.
but Nas Reed, but they also figured it out. Like if this is the Timberwolves team from like before the trade deadline, like back in February, it'd be like Lakers. Oh, if the Luka trade and
Mhm.
everything, it'd be like Lakers easily. But the Timberwolves have figured it out. Julius Randle isn't handling the ball as much, but he is just kind of in the way, I feel like sometimes. So
Mhm.
if they just kind of forget of trying to give him like at least 30 minutes, just trying to win the game, then playing more Nas Reed. It's tough. It really is tough. I think it's gonna be Lakers in six. Um, but I don't know if we want to like break up the bracket or we just kind of go
You
from
could just
there.
have
Because
our.
if I'm
Sorry, go ahead.
just have our predictions and then go from there, you think?
Yeah, I think we can just kind of have our own little bracket from here, I suppose.
Okay. Yeah, I'll keep track of it for sure. But I really do think it could go either way. I think the Timberwolves are incredibly talented. I think the experience is a little bit lacking, though they did go quite far last year. There's just a bit more on the Lakers side, and they've had to fight a lot. Also didn't bring up Austin Reeves. He's been playing out of his mind. And in the playoffs, he also famously is him. So, we'll see if he could turn it up a notch in the playoffs. But that's going to be an insane series.
Oh
And
yeah,
honestly,
what a
if it
great first
does,
round series.
yeah, if so game seven would be in LA. I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
I don't know how much those tickets would be,
a
but
lot,
well,
a lot of
it
money.
is on it is on my but it's on my bucket list to go to an NBA Game 7, and it's literally Luca, one of my favorite players, Anthony Edwards, one of my favorite players, LeBron James, the GOAT. I'm like, how much is that?
Lakers.
It's priceless. And Lakers, how priceless is that? So we'll see what it gets down to. I could
About a
see Lakers
thousand
in seven.
dollars
I
of
could see,
pricelessness.
dude. Okay, that's a little too priceless. That's like it can't be a month's rent. It just can't. It can't. I love basketball, but I cannot. I just cannot convince
Call the
myself of
bank, man.
that.
Take out a
So,
loan.
dude, that's not even funny, man. I don't want to be like that. I'm gonna go to Vegas, and I'm gonna put like $200 on, or no, $100 on like a random number there, and spin it once. If it lands, I'll get $3,600. So that's what I'm gonna do.
Just sports bet the rest of the playoffs and earn enough money to go there.
Like sports bet the play in and everything.
Like
Actually,
prize picks, over unders, little bets, build up your income.
I have I have thought about doing that. I don't know if I have enough income. Have you thought about doing that?
Um, I don't know if I can in Texas. Is it legal here? I have no idea if it is.
How do
Um,
they know? I don't understand that
but
kind of
yeah, I don't have
stuff.
enough disposable income to throw at that.
That's exactly my yeah. I got plans. I got other things I got to spend money on, like food and gas. But um, anywho, so I do think the Lakers still.
Yeah, that's fair.
But we'll just continue. We'll continue forward.
Yeah,
It's fun.
gotta grab every pick. Be boring.
Yeah. Okay, okay. Let us move
Round
forward.
two.
Let's go to the East. Cavs, Pacers.
Cavs Pacers. I'll take the Cavs. Um, No, I'll take the Cavs in six. I think the Cavs have had a really good season, but I think the Pacers have had a really good season too. Probably not good enough to where I think they can push this to seven. But again, they did make the conference finals last year, beating the Knicks and all that. So I guess it wouldn't be totally shocking beating the Bucks and Knicks to make the conference finals. But um, the Cavs have just, kind of been steamrolling this year. And I'll go ahead and believe in that, believe in Kenny Atkinson, and I'll say Cavs in six.
Nice. I'm gonna say Cavaliers in five
Okay.
because I want to be different and an individual. But also I just think that it'll come. I think the Cavaliers in a lot of these games will just get so far ahead because their offense is firing on
Mhm.
all cylinders, and they have with the home court advantage too. Like I just think it's gonna be an uphill battle for the Pacers, and I could see going to six, but I think it'll be closer to five. I think the Cavs are just going to like really take care of business. They're not here to mess around. They're going to those conference finals, and they want to make it to the finals. So
Yeah,
I'm gonna say five.
that's fair.
Um, okay, let's do this. Okay, so for you, Timberwolves Warriors.
Yeah, this would be an interesting series. This would be a really interesting series. Um, but wow, 6-7 matchup in the second round, by the way, if this were to happen, uh, would
Yeah.
be kind of wild. And this is tough. I really, I mean, after last year and this regular season with the growth I've seen, I'm just an Anthony Edwards believer. Uh, give
Welcome to the club.
You
Welcome
know,
to the
he
club.
he's one of those risers. Like he just rises to the moment, kind of like Luca does as well. Um, but he just seems like that guy. I'm gonna say Wolves in. I'll say Wolves in six. In Golden State in six.
Okay. Um, so my on my end, Lakers Warriors. I
Yeah,
mean, this has happened so much. The
They're-
Lakers and
this is
Warriors
what the NBA
did
wants to happen.
play. Yeah, and they did play the recently. You can kind of look at that game. Um, but if I remember, I think this was the game. Was I texting you during it with like no, it was the Thunder. That's what they thought that was okay, never mind. The Thunder and Lakers game was a very good game, but the Warriors just like were making their threes, and um I I trust the Lakers still more. I just think behind the Warriors, like they have, got Steph, Draymond, Jimmy. It's like I don't trust Podzinski or like Kaminga really as much as I trust a Austin Reeves or a Rui Hachimura who I haven't even mentioned yet. So I would say I would say Lakers and six as well.
Okay.
This is interesting. It's like two different brackets.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it'll make a difference in the conference finals. We'll find out.
Da-da-da.
Um, but Knicks Celtics. Tell me what you think.
Yeah, I'll take. And the Celtics are so good. I'm gonna take the Celtics in five. Yeah, I think they're just gonna. No, I'll take Celtics in six. I'll give the Knicks a little more respect. I'll take Celtics in six. I don't see them losing in the second round here. So yeah, I think they'll handle the Knicks. I think I mean, to be fair, the Knicks do have Mikhail and OG. They can put on Tatum and Brown. That's pretty good. You still have to deal with Cat if you're the Celtics. They don't really have any super great big man. Al Horford's 1,000 years old. But overall, I just think the Celtics have still looked like such a machine this year and kind of clicking all cylinders. They're going to live and die by the three. I think they lived through this series. Yeah, I'll say Celtics in six.
Could you do me a favor? Can you remind me if there's any outstanding injuries on the Knicks? Brunson's back.
Brunson's
right?
back. I think Cat is there. I think Mikal and OG are there. Josh Hart. Um,
Josh Hart. Okay, okay, that's what I thought.
yeah. I don't
Miles
think either team.
McBride.
I think Porzingis is back for the Celtics too.
Yeah, I saw him. He's back. Okay, so they're both full strength. Okay, cool, cool. Uh, I say Knicks in six.
Mm.
I'm gonna keep going. I love
Wow.
what the Knicks have done this year, and I don't. I've seen the Celtics fail at their machine uh a lot in the regular season. I feel like even though they had a really good record, they lost to some teams that they live and die by the three. If you don't make your threes, you lose. It's basically that. So I think the Knicks just have a lot more weapons at their disposal, and I don't think anyone can really stop them. My biggest question mark is Jalen Brunson because he hasn't been as Jalen Brunson as we expect since his injury, and he's come back. But I feel like in the playoffs, he will get his kind of feet under him at this point, and I just don't trust the system that the Celtics have. Um,
You are also known as a
and
Celtics hater, so it makes sense.
but last year I think I I definitely said they would go to the conference finals because I trusted it a bit more, but I've just watched more of it and I don't know. It's kind of like how I don't trust the Warriors system to an extent because it's like, okay, Steph, you do everything and we'll just make sure you get screens. It's like, okay, if you hold them to 0 points, it's like, you know, who's going to stop you? So, I want to say Knicks in six, maybe even seven.
I think the Knicks will beat
I hope.
the Celtics and Pistons both in 6 games.
I'm sorry for the silence. I'm thinking. Um, no, because like I'm thinking maybe Knicks could do Pistons in five. But I think Knicks could beat the Celtics in six.
Didn't you say Knicks in 6 for the Pistons though? I thought
No,
that's
no,
what
no.
you
I
said.
did. I did. I'm saying I could see in five as well,
Oh, I
but
see.
I'll just keep it because I said it. I still think Knicks.
Okay. All right, you're entitled to that. Yes.
Thanks. Yeah. I don't think it matters for the next round if I'm being honest, but
Interesting. Okay.
this is interesting.
Yeah. All
Okay,
right.
last but not
Celtics
least,
out in the second round. Okay.
I think yeah. Yeah, yeah. I
Wow,
stick
wow,
by
wow.
it. Um, don't worry. We'll get to the Lakers versus Warriors soon enough. But right now, we're talking. Oh no, we already did that. Don't worry. We'll get to the conference final soon enough.
Okay.
Anyways, Thunder Nuggets. Thunder
Th
Nuggets.
Thunder Nuggets. Yeah. Mentioned the last round, the Clippers momentum, the Nuggets and their turmoil kind of coming into the playoffs, Jokic being the best player in the series. This would be the top two MVP candidates going at it, which would be really kind of fun. I do think the Thunder definitely have a better team around Shea than Jokic has on the Nuggets. Um, but I do think the Thunder would have their hands full a little bit with Jokic because Lou Dort is a fantastic defender. He can't do anything against Jokic. Chet, very skinny. I think Jokic can kind of body him up. Hartenstein may have a better chance there. That being said, Thunder, I think all around just have a better system of operation. I don't really know who guards Shea on the other end. I think Christian Brown has been fine this year. I don't think he's been a great defender. I think Peyton Watson may be too much of an offensive liability to play him big minutes in the playoffs to guard Shea. Um, and then other than that, like I said, I just think the supporting cast is better. I do have a lot of respect for Jokic, so I'll say Thunder in 6.
Okay, for the last time, get out of my head. Oh, don't worry. You're definitely not in my head because we're like disagreeing in the
We
last
have
two
two
rounds.
different teams in the
We have
other.
two different
Yeah.
brackets, like totally different brackets right now. But I agree, Thunder in six. I just really like the system the Thunder have. It doesn't have to be Shea, it could be J-Dub, it could be Chet. They could just have a game. If Jokic isn't playing, if he doesn't average a triple double, they're losing that game, So um, I trust the Nuggets to an extent. I think that they'll probably get some wins at home because the elevation's kind of tough. But yeah, I think Thunder in six for sure. And as Shea MVP versus I'm assuming Jokic should be second runner up, so that'd
Mhm.
be a really cool series. Absolutely worthwhile
I
to watch.
I need to rewind.
Rewind.
Um, I'm gonna go back to the first round. I'm gonna say Lakers in seven instead of Wolves in seven.
Why did you change?
I've just been thinking about it. Just been thinking about it. I remember that Luca beat. I remember that Luca beat the Thunder last year. Um, so that swayed me a little more in that direction.
Oh, gotcha. Also
Um,
beat the Wolves. Yeah.
which also would make me want to say that the Lakers will beat the Warriors in uh six. I'll say for my second round prediction. In that scenario,
Okay.
yeah.
So you think Lakers in seven, right? I'm changing it.
In the first round, and then in six against the
Yeah,
Warriors in the second round.
got it.
Let's get to our conference finals, where we have three of the four same teams now.
Wow. Okay. Hold up. I'm just updating it. Okay, good. There we go. Okay, let us cut to the East. So Cavaliers versus Celtics.
Yeah. Um, this would be
Now
a,
this would be sick. This would be crazy, yeah.
this would be a fascinating series. Um, I think it comes down to seven for me, and there's one team that has the most road victories in the NBA this season. That team is the Celtics. So I'm going to say Celtics in seven, making the finals again, beating the Cavs
Wow.
um,
At home?
at Cavs home, yeah, and in Cleveland.
Wow.
Uh,
Um,
yeah,
you want to tell me why?
I just think the Celtics are a proven. I think they're proven. I mean, they won the championship last year. Obviously, they're proven. And while the
Yeah.
Cavs have had a great season, I haven't seen it translate to the postseason yet. I expect it will to some degree, which is why I have them all the way in the conference finals with relative ease. Um, and I just think the Celtics will kind of give them a run for their money. As good as their team has been, though, I think the thing they lack is the thing that the Knicks had, which is the wing defense um, to guard Tatum and Brown, I think, effectively. They have DeAndre Hunter, who they've been kind of bringing off the bench. They have Strus. They have who am I forgetting about?
Okoro.
Okoro,
Okoro.
thank you. Um, so like it's an okay group of guys, but it's not Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby. I think the interior defense is definitely great with Mobley and Allen. I think Mobley can work on the perimeter. Maybe he does a little bit of that if this series were to happen. Kind of staying out there near the three, trying to stay in front of some of those guys. He's been pretty good at that this year. Um, then on the other end, I just think, Derek White, Drew Holiday, Tatum Brown. That's a tough group of guys for Garland and Donovan Mitchell to kind of score on, as I think was shown in their series last year. Um, and we still have we just haven't seen it yet in the postseason for the Cavs with this particular group. They had the year where they got punked by the Knicks in the first round. They had last year was a grind fest for their wins against the Magic to advance, and then the Celtics kind of handled them in the second round last year. So I think they're better this year. I think Kenny Atkinson is a great coach, and they've had a great season. I just have a little more faith in what the Celtics have been building for several years now, and think they'll go to back-to-back finals.
Okay, I'll go back and I'll change mine too.
You don't
If
have to
if
change
you're gonna
yours.
No, 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 I'm saying it like that because that was very convincing and I do see it. Maybe I am a little biased, okay? Maybe I just went to New York City and I really liked it, okay?
You're like, I love the
Um
Knicks, my favorite team in the East now.
I'm a Yankees fan and Knicks fan. I come
Oh
back all decked
God,
out. Like,
ew,
who the hell is this guy? No.
terrible.
No, no, I would never. Yeah, I would say Celtics in seven though.
Okay.
Um, I think it would go all the way back to TD Garden. Um, but okay, uh, I'd probably take Celtics in seven. What did you say? Did you say Celtics in seven?
Yeah, on
Okay.
the road in Cleveland.
Oh, right, right, right. I remember. Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. Fine. I guess I guess I have to live with this.
You don't have
But
to
let's just
actually. You could make your own bracket.
no, because no, I'm gonna live with it because they are a very good team, and I have seen it fail. But the thing is, it's a 7 game series, and that's what I love about it. It's not one game elimination; it's seven. So yeah, they'll probably figure it out, which is upsetting to me. But it's that's what the history has shown us. Anyways, let's go to the West.
Okay.
Thunder versus Lakers. What do you think?
Uh, what a series this would be, huh? Um,
What world? I wish this is a world I would live I could live in. I really
yeah,
want it to happen. Who knows? But yeah.
yeah. So I think the Lakers had to battle the Wolves, battle the Warriors, because I feel like both of those series would be battles. They wouldn't be cakewalks
Yeah.
to get here. Whereas I feel like the Thunder, the Grizzlies and Nuggets, I think at a point in the season, I would have been like, that's tough. Those are both teams with their coaches fired this year, which is kind of funny to think about.
Oh my God, I didn't even think about that. That happens if that's the route
Yeah,
they take.
if it breaks that way, yeah, that would be funny. Um, I think it comes down to this is now in the conference finals. Again, the Thunder just have a rock solid supporting cast. I think the load on Shea's shoulders from game to game is going to be much less than Luka and LeBron. I think they're going to have to do a lot of the heavy lifting for the Lakers to even get to the conference finals because the Wolves and the Warriors or Rockets or whoever they end up playing are no easy teams to kind of get through. Um, so this is going to be a battle game after game, predicting longer series. Whereas I think the Thunder will probably have shorter series. I think they'll be more rested, and they've just been so awesome this year, handling everybody in the West with relative ease. So I will say the Thunder here. But Luka and LeBron, it's a tough matchup for anybody. So I will say after beating the Grizzlies in five, the Nuggets in six, they'll beat the Lakers in seven at home in Oklahoma City.
Okay. Yeah, my biggest concern, like you mentioned, was the route getting to this point. The
Hmm.
Thunder do get to kind of have at least a break with the Grizzlies. Of course, it will be like a good series, but it will be more evenly distributed across the players. Maybe against the Nuggets, they rely on Shea a little bit more, but the Thunder also have some great like big men like Hardenstein and like Holmgren. Like Jackson Hayes just doesn't really
Yeah,
kind of own up to that, and you do the small ball lineup. But the thing is, the Thunder can go small ball too. And Chet
right.
is he could easily be a stretch five. So it's like you have LeBron and Chet, but he's 7'2", right?
I
So
didn't,
it's like
I didn't even mention Lou Dort on Luca. That's a
exactly.
fun
And then
matchup.
if not Lou Dort, then it's going to be Aaron Wiggins, who's pretty dang good, or even J Dub or Shea, who's it's just like you know, I think it would be Thunder in six actually, just because I think it would just kind of they would get so bogged down. I think Thunder get the first two wins, Lakers maybe get one in LA, Thunder go up 3-1, and then Lakers win one in like Oklahoma City, then it'll probably just end in LA.
Hmm.
I probably think it would go that route, but I think it would be really fun to watch. I think it would just slowly get less and less close. Like I feel like the later games will be a bit more blowout. Like, whoever can just make the threes and
Hmm.
stuff, because it's going to be kind of get bogged down. So I would say Thunder. Um,
Yeah,
so it looks like we have a Thunder and Celtics finals.
Thunder Celtics. Yeah, after you went back and changed it. But
Yeah,
yes,
which I mean, okay, no, but the thing is, I just yeah, I stick with it. That's fine. Thunder Celtics. Who you got? I'm gonna hate
um,
this. I know I am.
huh?
No, go. Continue, please.
I I was gonna say, it's a hard team to bet against the Celtics. It's tough. I've seen him do it. I've seen him. I feel like I see him in the conference finals or finals every year for the last 6, 7 years, and that's exactly because it is the case. The Thunder, they were the one seed last year, got upset in the second round by the Mavs. Was an okay series. I do think this year I mean, we're predicting them right now to go all the way to the finals. Um, I just don't quite know if they're there yet, and I don't know exactly what they need to get there. Um, you know, and maybe it's just the Celtics to not be there, because I feel like the Celtics are so good in every aspect of their roster. I would lean edge Thunder for the big men. Chet, Hartenstein, I do think uh, contribute a little more than Porzingis and Al Horford. It's close, but I think they edge him out, and then of course Shea kind of in the guard spot. But again, you could throw Drew Holiday at him. You could throw Derek White at him. These guys are proven great defenders. And the Thunder do have Dort and J-Dub for Tatum and Brown. I mean, this would be a great series, I think. And I could really see it going either way, but I'm going to stick with the team that I've seen do it, that I know can do it. I'll say Celtics in seven at OKC. Maybe that's just the optimist in me wanting to see a final series go 7 games. Um, but I feel like this is the Jason Tatum revenge season after they won the finals and he didn't get the MVP and then he like barely played in the Olympics and didn't look that good. That's the narrative, I guess, that I'm kind of painting. I know you're going to hate that pick, so go ahead and tell me why you think the Thunder are going to win.
Yeah, well, if this is the Jason Tatum revenge season, it's the softest revenge season I've ever
Right.
seen in my life,
Right.
which is kind of hilarious. But no, I say Thunder in seven, and I'll tell you why. I don't like the Celtics, man. I'm gonna be
No, you
honest.
don't.
It comes down to one simple fact. I just don't want them to win. So I
Yeah.
think it's gonna be I want to say Thunder in seven. And the reason why, what I think it'll come down to, something you mentioned, I think it's going to come down to the bigs. And Al Horford's old. He
That's
is
so
going to
true.
get,
He
he's too
is old.
slow. He's just too slow. He's not going to be able to keep up with Holmgren or Hardenstein. I think this is the series that Chet Holmgren, even though, okay, he is not playoff tested. He was injured last year, right? He didn't even play in the playoffs. So this is his first playoff run, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? I'm not great. Okay, right. Okay. Um,
Yeah, because he
wait,
was injured
was
last year.
yeah, okay. Okay, gotcha. Um, so I think this is from the time to shine. Seeing how he's playing in the first 2 rounds in the conference finals will inform me a bit better, but I like to be an optimist on in these things, and I like him a lot as a player and stretches the floor and you know, but just trust Shea is gonna be MVP. I feel like they have taken their time to get to this point. The Thunder haven't been in the finals since what, 2012, right? Um,
Yes. They're there with
I
Durant,
don't,
Harden, Westbrook. Yep.
yeah, I don't think they'll take it for granted. I think the Celtics were underestimate. Sorry, the Celtics will underestimate the Thunder. I think they'll tell themselves they're not going to, but I think they will because of the experience, lack thereof. And
Hmm.
I think Oklahoma playing in Oklahoma City Arena, I've listened to games like on the radio in there, and it is so loud, and it is just their fans are insane. Celtics fans are also insane, but I I trust the composure of the Thunder in Boston, and I just think they're going to win in seven. I think it's going to be tough. I think it's going to kind of come down to similar things, like whichever team is making the most threes is going to win, um, and if it doesn't come down to that, then it'll come down to individual play. And I trust Shea. I trust SGA. He's MVP for a reason. So,
Yeah.
best player on the court wins it, and I think that's what it's going to be. And I'm glad that we should make a bet. We should think of a bet or something if the Thunder and the
Okay.
Celtics win. It was something kind of fun. Be kind of
Yeah.
fun.
How about this? I don't actually know if we can do this because it may be too expensive. I was gonna say that the winner or the loser can buy the winner a Jeff Green jersey for the team because he played on both of these teams. Uh, which is the first
Oh,
thing that
that'd be
came to my
sick.
mind. So, like, you'd have to get me a Jeff Green Celtics thing, I guess, or I'd have to get you a Jeff Green Thunder thing. Um,
That's so funny. My mind went, okay, that's not bad. My mind went to the loser has to have the teams like pin it on their wall for every podcast episode the next year.
oh, okay. So,
But
like,
you don't, but you don't. But you don't hate the
I
Thunder.
don't hate the
I don't
Thunders.
want a Celtics. Exactly.
Yeah,
So that's not like even enough. Like it would be so funny if it was like a team you hate,
right.
like the Warriors or like Warrior, and like you had to have like the
Mhm.
Warriors on your, you know
That
what I
that
mean?
would
Like that'd be fun.
that would suck. Yeah.
But I don't think, yeah, I don't think this is a good enough match. We'll think of something though. I don't hate the jerseys. I don't think a Jeff Green jersey is going too much, but we could find them probably pretty cheap. But
Right.
I think that would be fun. But yeah, I mean, I can't wait for these playoffs.
Well,
Every
we have to see if
series,
we have to see if that ends up being the finals too.
exactly. Yeah, yeah. I
It
think,
could not be.
yeah, I think this especially once you get to the second round, it's just gonna be so fun to watch everything. And the first round has, especially the West, kind of has everything's gonna be really entertaining. The East will be a little bit of a snooze for the first part, but I think it'll still be really fun to watch.
I'm very excited. Yeah, I think a lot of these series will be good. Even some of the ones we predicted to be 4 or 5 games, I feel like could go pretty well.
Yeah, absolutely, and it'll be close and stuff. So, I want to pop back in
Yeah,
just for the end.
you
Hopefully,
turned
my
your
camera
camera on,
doesn't
and
spaz.
it's immediately green everywhere. I can't see you at all.
Wait, are you serious? Oh my.
Abs
Okay.
Absolutely.
It's so funny because on my end, it looks fine. We're gonna have to figure this
Uh,
out. I'm gonna update my
maybe
Zoom
you'll
and
have to start
everything.
recording them.
Dude, how are you gonna get? Okay, we'll talk about this off pod.
Okay.
Um,
I wanna
no,
read a tweet to you.
read it.
It is from September 24th, 2013. Okay.
Okay,
It is
okay.
from a guy named Gary Knox. I've seen it before, but I just saw it again. Remember the name Paige Beckers. Sixth grade, think Diana Taurasi. Best sixth grade guard I've ever seen. St. Louis Park. Just drafted #1 overall. So,
Dude, that's creepy. That's
yeah.
a creepy tweet. No,
So,
creepy. Like, why some guy watching a sixth grader like that? I don't like that at all.
watching sixth grade and then saying this person is going to be Diana Taurasi and then being correct. It's crazy.
Dude, I know, but like that, it just sounds like a creep to me. I thought he
I
just
mean,
goes
he
on there and,
tweeted about it, so maybe he's like a talent scout or something. I don't know.
or
Um,
maybe he's just, anyway. It is interesting to. I'll say this. It's interesting to say and put that on there.
I wonder if
But
I went to his
congrats to Paige
profile if he's like
Beckers.
a bunch of people that I've never heard of.
Yeah, he just like it's a fill in the blank. He just has a whole bunch of names and just fills in the blank. Like best six score guard I've ever seen. This person's best six score guard I've ever seen, and then like one of them will be right.
Yeah,
All right. Well, I'll keep this bracket handy, and we'll look at it, take the shot, and I will rest my voice.
I will rest my
What do you
soul.
say? Rest my soul. I will rest. Yes. Take. Oh
Eh,
yes, dude. You
eh.
have to go to a Rockets Warriors playoff game. You know that, right?
I
Especially because
really want to.
the prices are so perfect, so good for you. Wow, that was pretty. That was like right on,
It
but
was
just a little
right on,
short.
right through the net. Just need a little more arc.
My
Tough.
favorite joke, nothing but net.
That's a knee slapper. Uh, anyways,
Okay. Uh,
uh,
you clipped right there. So,
oh, I bet
yeah,
I
no, we
did.
just real quick. I looked this up before the pod.
Yeah,
Tickets to a Rockets Warriors playoff game at the most is $58, and
it's a little pricey for me.
the least expensive Lakers Timberwolves game is $228.
That's insane.
Um, so, you kind of owe it to me to go.
Maybe if you
Wait,
come
how about
down, I'll go
this?
with you.
Oh, I was gonna say whoever's right, the Thunder or Celtics, they buy a ticket for the person to go to a playoff game. But it's gonna be way too
To a
early.
finals game?
No, no, no. I was jokingly
Oh, to like
about
a
like
Rockets
one of
Lakers
these. Like
game?
yeah, no, no,
How does
no, no,
that
no.
make
I
sense?
would buy. No, no, no. Like no. I was gonna say I would buy your first round, like your game ticket for Rockets Warriors, and you would buy mine, but it wouldn't make sense because
Because
that
the
would already
finals happens
happen.
way later. Okay.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. I slept 3 hours, and
Right.
so. I want to thank everyone again for listening. Sorry about we're gonna get our technical difficulties figured out. It really only started right before we potted, anyways. So
Yeah,
we'll get it figured
unfortunate.
out. Thank you for being here. This has been Two Man Game with Damon and Dom.
Back at it. Enjoy the playoffs.